Travellers.
Yep.
I just met my husband, and which was not long after the war finished, and he had an old A model car. And all his mates heard about that if you went so many miles out, you could go in the hotel and sign a book and have a drink on the Sunday.
Yes, yes.
So they were all thinking up different places where they lived. And then somebody said, what about Roma? What will she do? And they thought I'd make a mistake, but I didn't. I saved the day and changed my address.
And what did you drink, Roma? Did you drink a beer or a Pimm's?
I never drank anything until my husband, he wasn't at the time my husband, he said, drink this or I'll crash the car.
Wow, what did he give you?
Beer.
Did you like it?
No, I didn't really.
Do you like it now?
I used to, but at 88 I thought it's time I gave it up.
I think it's time to take it up myself.
Yeah, but now they all buy me Baileys.
Oh, that's nice.
Bottles. Every Christmas I've got bottles of Baileys.
Yes, a lovely drop, the Old Baileys.
Very sweet and lovely.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes, it is.
Oh, well, lovely to have a yarn to you. You should be very proud of the birth of that little boy, James.
James Patrick.
I'm yet to meet him.
Yep.
So I'll welcome him into the world. I'll shake his hand and give him a little kiss.
Of course you will. You'll love him.
I love them all.
Of course you do. Thank you, Roma. That's a very special call. We appreciate that very much.
Have a lovely Christmas with your new great-grandson, Roma.
17, 16?
I think I like about 20.
Yeah, nice. Yes, that's all right.
And I've been to Vanuatu many times, and the temperature there always seemed to be, all through the day, 29. And that's as hot as I ever wanted.
Oh, right.
Too hot.
Oh, Phil, are we up? Phil, where are you? Oh, it's not Phil. Look who it is.
Yes.
Well, in place of Phil, if we remembered, went along to the Beach Boys tonight at the Palais.
Yeah.
And it's Doug with us, Doug Aiton.
Hello, Bruce. How lovely to see you again. I didn't know you'd want to play that whole Japanese thing.
Oh, yes, it's
You probably missed it.
It's synonymous with you, Doug.
Yeah.
Goes back to your childhood.
How are you?
Exactly.
Language, in which at least 2 jihadists were killed and 7 arrested. French police are saying it's over, and they say they're still working to secure the suburb of Saint-Denis after the 6-hour raid today. And it was part of a manhunt for those linked to a devastating string of attacks on Paris late on Friday, which left, as we know, 129 dead. And what I've just read is the very latest on that situation.
Yes, yes, the latest from the wires, which will keep you informed through the night should anything develop.
Well, they could change while we're on air tonight, of course.
Yes, hopefully not for the worst.
Yeah.
Now, Doug, you and I go right back to
A long way, Bruce, a long way.
well, not that long. To the first hour-long news service, 1979.
This was at Channel O,
Yes.
which then changed to 10.
I think it was first female-male readers with Annette Allison and myself.
You and Annette.
And you were the man around town, Doug Aiton, keeping his eye on the developing stories in Melbourne.
I was. I'd come on the set with you and Annette and do my little pieces.
Yes, you at the time were with the Herald.
I was with The Age.
Oh, the Age, sorry.
I was with The Age, and I was doing bits of radio, and I was generally freelance journalist, I think. They were good days, I remember. Yeah. Michael Schulberger was the news editor, wasn't he?
That's right. That's right.
There was a bloke...
there were people like Jeremy Cornford.
Yes.
And, Richard Dovey.
Yeah, I can remember. Well, there was a young lady called Jana Vent.
Another young person by the and she was learning the craft. She was doing a course, wasn't she, from university?
Well, I had played a part in it. I was leaving there one night. No, I was arriving at Channel 10 one night to do my bit on your news service. And there was this beautiful young lady at the counter. And I said, can I help you? There's no one at the counter to attend to her. And she said, oh, look, I was just wanting to see the news editor or the news person. I said, why? She said, I was hoping to get a job here. So I saw what she looked like, and then I heard her voice. And I said, I think you'd better come and meet Mr. Schulberg.
Yes,
That was Jana Vent.
Yes, a great find.
She was 19.
And Eddie Maguire, much the same beginning?
Oh, yes, Eddie Maguire. Gosh, he wasn't there then, was he?
Not in those days, but just a few, it seems a year or so later.
Yeah.
More in the sporting field.
Yes.
And
He would have been a teenager.
No, what he was.
Yeah.
And they'd send him down to do a sports story on football, for example.
Yeah.
But he would come back with reports from every other club.
Yes.
He'd gone to every other training session.
I didn't know this, but I'm not in the least surprised.
He'd been to the sporting club and got about five or six different stories, all exclusive to the O10 network. And these were the kids. Kids then.
He was, yeah.
That really aspired and did great things in the industry.
You can tell when you see someone, you feel like with Eddie, what you say doesn't surprise me at all. I've met and known him a little bit since, because I've interviewed him a few times for newspaper articles, and you can just tell that energy.
Yes.
Irrepressible energy.
That's right.
He has about him. And also he has a great demeanour. He knows how to behave. He knows how to be polite. He knows how to be...
corporate.
Corporate, very much so, and persuasive.
Yes.
He's a very good operator.
But the sort of people that never stand still. It just doesn't go to call the footy. Then I'll go home and have a bit of a rest.
No.
I'll stay around and I'll do the footy show and I'll do Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Yes.
Let me go and front something else.
Yeah.
And I'll be Collingwood's president.
Do you know Eddie?
Yes.
You met him, I think.
Yeah.
Because you're a Collingwood man, aren't you?
Oh, yes. So what?
Doesn't not a big...
What are you?
I'm a cat.
Oh, cat.
Of course, you know that. Surely.
Now, how's your mayor going down there?
Oh,
He reminds me a bit of Boris from London.
he does. He does. Boris Johnson. He does. Rather more extreme than Boris Johnson, and that's saying something.
But isn't that a link with today's world? We seem to love that flamboyancy.
Flamboyance is the word, yeah. He has come on my radio program in Geelong, which is on Fridays, and but that was before he was mayor. I haven't been able to land him since he became mayor. But he was a very nice fella. He's very, a bit like Eddie Maguire.
Yeah, I suppose.
You know, he's full of energy. Yeah.
I quite a bit more thought of him when we were discussing.
Yes. Very, very impressive. Everyone thought that he would be a disaster. And yet I know Conservatives and I know Radicals in Geelong, both of whom approve of him now. They've decided at least he's doing things. And he is.
Well, what he's got planned for Christmas, for example?
The Christmas tree out in Corio Bay.
Well, great.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
A few little mean-minded people say, "What's it cost, though? Shouldn't we be giving it to homeless people?" And so, well, yes, it's a different argument, mate. It really is a different argument. Countries have to spend money on things apart from those in need.
Yeah, yes, you're right too. And of course, with the demise of the motor industry and Alcoa and all the other things, and there's got to be something down there, a bit of life.
Yes, I hate talking about the motor industry in Australia. No, you should, but we've got to face up to it. But we used to be so proud of our motoring industry.
Oh,
didn't we?
yes.
I remember that photo of Ben Chifley at Holden. 1948, first one off the assembly line.
Fisherman's Ben.
The Fisherman's Ben, and he was saying, "She's a beauty."
Yeah. And there was one parked in my suburb a couple of months ago, and I went over, and it was in pristine condition. You look at the work and the strength of that car.
Yeah.
Fitted into the Australian way of life.
It
whether
did.
was great outdoors or the suburbs.
And I don't think they were seen in any other country ever.
No.
I might be wrong there.
No, I think you're right.
Someone might have exported one
Yeah.
to be a taxi in Libya or something, but I doubt it.
I don't think so. But they were chunky and big and very
Oh, they were
robust.
lovely. We never had one, but friends, parents of my friends had a Holden FJ. And I used to love getting into that car.
I think we had an FJ and then a Premier. Dad
Oh, the Premier was a big change of shape.
Yes, yes.
We had them when I first went to the Melbourne Herald as a cadet, and I'd drive around in a black Premier thinking I was king.
Oh, you'd be king of the
Oh,
road.
yeah, I thought I was great. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
They were all black at the Herald.
But wasn't Elizabeth in South Australia a huge industry too for Holden, for
Yes,
GMH?
it was. I only read about that. I've never been
No,
there.
I've never been there myself. No, I haven't. No. We're talking about Darren Lyons, the mayor of Geelong.
Yeah, I knew that. Didn't we say his name?
No.
Oh, Darren Lyons,
Shut up,
folks.
shut up about it.
Yeah.
Listen, let's have a look at the ratings at 16 past
Yes.
10. These are the national figures, Doug, and...
Don't we have a little jingle or something?
no, nothing.
All right. Okay.
Nine's News led the field over the country, with Seven's News next for the X Factor, The Block, ABC News, TBL Families, A Current Affair, and The Second Test. Very much down in that pecking of the top 10, the Second Test.
It's all news stories.
Yeah, it's all news.
Almost.
Absolutely.
Yeah. 9 News, 7 News, 7 News, 9 News, ABC News, Current Affair.
Yeah. Okay, anything you'd like to talk about? 96900 693. We'd love your comments. Doug Aiton with Bruce tonight because Phil's at the Beach Boys concert at the Palais Theatre. And do we want to break now? Or okay, let's take a break and talk about the Beach Boys.
Yes, okay. All right.
The Beach Boys of earlier times.
Draw.
It is 21 minutes past 10. David at St Albans has called in tonight. David, good evening.
Hello, David.
Good evening, Bruce and Doug.
Hi, David.
How are you?
Really well.
Is that Doug Aiton?
Yes.
Oh, good to hear you back.
Aiton.
Oh, right. I used to listen to you many years ago on DB and...
Everywhere, David, everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere. Yeah, I just want to wish you guys a Merry Christmas. I've had a bad last quarter of this year. My mother and father died on different days
No.
in September.
That's
They were
sad.
elderly. And my father died on the 3rd of September. Mother died on the 20th.
Oh, gosh.
I don't know whether you call it broken heart.
I think you do.
I think you do, and every reason to be that way.
Yeah, and really listen to.
Of course
I
you
want to
would.
wish you guys a very, Merry Christmas. I wish you were back on for the 4 hours too, Bruce.
Oh, that's lovely of you, thanks.
Did you reckon that'll ever happen again?
Oh, I don't know. You never know what this world brings about. But we do commiserate with your sadness at this time, David, and wish you well, and thank you
Yeah,
for your
thanks.
lovely call.
Thanks for calling, David. I feel for him.
Yes, especially, the two
One after the other.
most important people in your life.
Yeah, so often it happens that way, doesn't it? That the one dies because the other one just died.
Yes, that's right. Chris, good evening.
Hi, Chris.
Go, fellas. How are you, Doug?
Good, thanks, Chris.
Look, I'm recovering from in recent days of trauma. I got some constructive criticism and a blasting, which was all appropriate for me, and I took it on the chest from the lovely lady, the business manager at Middy's News Agency next to the former O.J. Nielsen building where I used to work when I was 15 years old. I took it on the chin because I have to get a reality check that I've got to stop. I've got to try and look in more in depth to see that I don't mix with people who might lead me astray. I was hoping a particular lady that was supposed to stay with me up until from last Thursday to this Thursday from interstate was going to stay loyal and by my side, but it's not to be. But I'm going through this. A few difficult decisions earlier today. I had a couple of beers and I had some bacon and eggs at the Welcome Stranger Hotel in Burke Street, and just these little things I'm starting to do better. And I'd done something terrible tonight, Bruce. I jumped the fence. I actually had a proactive call with Steve Price.
My gosh.
Oh, you called in, did you?
Yeah. Doug, just to let you know, I'm a former ALP rank and file
Yeah.
member.
What was the topic?
Oh, no, I was just talking about that. I was giving credit where credit due to Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull, because I don't believe in sabotage and anything to do with the Liberals, but just credit where credit's due. It's just that he was struggling with his assertion with Prime Minister... US President Barack Obama in taking on the questions, the statements, the references, and look, we're all under a lot of pressure. So is the Prime Minister. He's got the biggest job in the country. And look, can I just put in a good word for Sergeant Bob? And I hope one day he'll be the Mayor of Broadmeadows, the state Labor member for Broadmeadows, or the federal Labor member for Cornwall, after he does his thing in the Victoria Police Force. Right. If they want 6% pay rises, give them 15%, because we really need the police desperately now.
All right. Okay. Righto, Chris. Thank you.
Good on you, Chris. Good to hear Chris. I often hear Chris when I'm driving home, Bruce, from doing your program.
That's right. Yeah. 25 past 10. What are you... Now, Malcolm Turnbull came to power, now Prime Minister.
Yes. When I last saw you, Tony Abbott was Prime Minister. I think it's been a move for the better for this country.
I do too.
I think Malcolm Turnbull is more like an American Democrat.
Yeah, yes.
Which is a party that has always appealed to me because they are both progressive in their social attitudes and very, very supporting of private enterprise. Tony Abbott was more, to me, in favour of conservative values of 1942.
Yes, I think you're right, yes.
And...
as decent as he was and as decent as they were... It's not 2015.
No, and at the same time, the Labor Party, to me, seems to have deteriorated and lost its grip. So has the union movement, and I won't say too much about that because it could be actionable. But I think that the whole Labor movement, including the union movement, is not what it used to be in the times of Whitlam, Hawke and Keating. And therefore, I think that middle ground that Malcolm Turnbull has occupied is very, very powerful. I think he's going to go on to become one of our most popular Prime Ministers.
Yes, I think you're right. Was the disabling of Gillard and Rudd and all that, do you think that led to the uneasiness?
No, I haven't thought of it that way, Bruce. I just think that the left side of politics, the Labor Party and the Liberal Party, were getting further and further away from each other, and there was no one in that middle ground, which is the most effective place to be, I think. Yes. And there we had Tony Abbott and Julia Gillard or Bill Shorten or Kevin Rudd exchanging empty, vapoured insults.
That's what I meant.
Just nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Malcolm Turnbull also, not only is he in this fortunate position of occupying the powerful middle ground, powerful because that's what Australians seem to want, he's also a man who can handle it. He's very articulate, and when they tried to have a go at him for being rich, they really fell in deep there because... Because
he said, so what, everyone's doing it.
He was more or less saying, I've run some successful businesses. Don't you want me to? Would you rather I ran unsuccessful businesses?
Yes, turned the thing right around.
Oh, did he? What? Effortlessly and charming.
Yes.
So I've got high hopes for him.
The point I made last night about Tony Abbott destabilising it a little bit with some comments regarding the Syria crisis and the situation we're in right now and the Paris thing. Malcolm Turnbull saying something and Tony Abbott not rebuffing, but coming in with his opinion. A bit destabilising, a little bit...
well, uncomfortable to witness.
Yes.
Uncomfortable to listen to.
Yeah.
I've never liked the politics of the adversary.
No.
It doesn't appeal to me at all. Back in Menzies and Cornwall day, years ago when we were kids, they were nice to each other.
Yes, they were.
They were very nice to each other.
Remember Evatt? He was mate to them all. Dr. Evatt?
Yes. Dr. Herbert Vere Evatt. Yes, he was our first representative, if you like, or he was instrumental in forming the United Nations.
Yes, and McManus and all that crowd.
Oh, Frank McManus, the DLP. He was a funny old bloke.
Yeah. Big A Santa Maria.
Yeah, I liked him.
I did too.
I didn't,
Most people did.
I didn't have anything in common with him, not being a Catholic, not being a right-winger, not being a...
No.
But I did meet him a few times, and I found him absolutely charming.
Decent, charming man.
Yeah.
Really was. All right, we'd love your comments on anything at all.
Yes.
Charlie Sheen accused of a double life. Nothing story. Goodness me, third page of the Herald Sun. What?
I didn't read it. He's got HIV. Is that right?
Well, yes, but, you know, he's a colourful character. You either loathe him or not, but just...
Does this mean he says, I am gay? Is that what he's saying?
No. Well, he's not saying that, but he's
he's not saying how he got it.
Into the illicits and the sleeping around and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
Making a big story about an interview that went on the Today Show.
Yeah, it was in all the papers.
The Strathkeek General Store. Ever been to Strath Creek?
I don't know where it is.
It's in central Victoria, and the old general store that's been there for 100 years burned to the ground overnight. Now, there are no suspicious circumstances, but it was a meeting place for the locals. And I just love going through some of these country towns where the old general store, the old pub...
Remember I had that photo I showed you of one... I can't remember the name of it now. It's just over the Murray in the Riverina.
Yes.
And some politician, a Liberal politician, had lunch at the counter lunch at the pub.
That's right.
And they had a photo of it. It just had the road to nowhere going past it.
Absolutely wonderful.
One car parked outside.
I love it.
Yes. And it couldn't be anywhere else but the Australian bush.
Well, that's right. And how they stayed the test of time. How they eked out some living there.
Incredible. Oh. And it hasn't changed since my childhood, that pub.
No.
It's exactly the same.
Where was the pub? Do you remember?
I can't. I can almost remember, but the pub was called the Royal.
Yeah, they all are.
Yeah, the Royal in the middle of the Riverina. No, I can't remember the name.
Somebody might know.
Yeah, someone will ring us up.
But memories of those outback towns, the old pubs, the general stores that are still standing, and generate a lot of interest to the locals.
In those days, when I was a kid, well, when I was drinking age, I suppose, we used to have beer in 7-ounce glasses.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know how we put up with that.
No.
They were gone in 2 seconds.
That's right. But you generally stayed the night.
Yes.
Didn't you?
Yeah.
And you were known as bona fide travellers.
That's right. And
if you can prove to that publican or whoever was behind the counter that you're on the road to somewhere, you could get a drink. You could have you could have a drink.
You could legally have a drink. If you could say you'd be called a bona fide traveller. But most of the publicans didn't really care whether they were
the back of Burke, would they care? No. Now listen, we'd love your calls on those memories. We've got some lovely prizes too if you don't get into it. Pancake parlour, patched. That's from the mobile phone. The radiation up to 95% patched reduces the mobile phone radiation. We've got some of those to give away tonight. And the Hamper World Christmas hamper, valued at $100.
Can I tell you... Oh, sorry.
Yes, go on.
I was going to tell you about my granddaughter. Am I allowed to talk about my granddaughter?
Let's do that in just a moment.
All right.